Hello, students, and today we'll be discussing the poem How to Tell Wild Animals from the book First Flight for Class 10th. So, watch the video till the end to get more about the detailed explanation and meanings of the difficult words in the video. So, before that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the further notification. So let's get started. The poem itself gives the clue that it's all about the wild animals, but it arouses the curiosity of the readers what they are going to read about wild animals in this poem. Before I begin, let me tell some things about the poet Carolyn Wells, who was born on June 18th in the year 1862 in US. She was a prolific American writer. Her first book was published in the year 1986. So now let me explain you about the poem. The poem is divided into 6 stanzas comprising of 6 lines each. So the first stanza goes like this. If ever you should go by chance, and if there should to you advance, if he roars at you as you are dying, 2 jungles in the east, a large and a tiny beast, you'll know it is the Asian lion. So, students, in this stanza, the poet presents the true picture of the Asian lion and shows how it can be identified by the reader. So, the poet here cautions, alarms the reader against the wild beast found in the jungle. He says that if by chance you happen to go to any forest in the eastern countries, you are likely to encounter a huge, terrible animal moving forward towards you. You will notice that it is brownish yellow in color. And if that beast roars loudly at you and you feel that you are going to die due to fear, then you will come to know that it is the Asian lion. Thus, the poet says that the Asian lion can be recognized by its enormous body with dull brown skin and by its terrifying roar. So let's move to the second stanza. Or if some time when roaming round with black strips on a yellow ground, this simple rule may help you learn. A noble wild beast greets you. Just notice if he eats you, the Bengal tiger to discern. So here the word noble means very impressive in size. Ground means background. Discern means make out or identify. In this stanza, the poet Corlin Wells reveals how one can identify the Bengal tiger because of its peculiar physical features and its behavior. The poet describes it as a noble, majestic animal. It has its distinctive yellow skin with white stripes on it. So the poet cautions that if the reader notice this beast and that if he eats them, then this simple rule will teach them that it is a Bengal tiger. So, although the complete poem is full of humorous images, in this stanza, if you happen to read this line, just notice if he eats you. Here, the poet gives us the comical situation with a person being eaten up by a tiger. But still, he is trying to recognize the animal. Which animal is it? So, the poet has also used the irony in this stanza. So, when the poet says, a noble wild beast greets you, the poet is talking about a Bengal tiger who has been called noble ironically because it is a ferocious animal which can kill anyone, but it is showed as a noble one here. So that's the irony in the line. So here comes the third stanza. If strolling forth a beast you view, whose hide with spots is peppered, as soon as he has leapt on you, you will know it is the leopard. It will do no good to roar with pain. He will only leap and leap again. So here comes a strange word called strolling, means to walk somewhere in a slow, relaxed way. So pepper means covered with spots and forth means forward. Let means to jump high. So after the Asian lion and Bengal tiger, In this stanza, the poet throws light on the appearance and the habits of the leopard. The poet comes out with the accurate description of the distinctive body of a leopard, which has dark brown spots on its light colored body. The spots on the body makes the peppered pattern. Leopard can be easily identified because of the spotted skin and because of its habit of leaping or jumping on the person it encounters. The poet takes liberty with language and alters the word leapt and leap. The usage of leapt and leap makes the sound correspondence with the pronunciation of leopard. So we see the poet has used a poetic license here by changing the spellings of leapt into lipped, leap into leapt. If the beast leaps on a person again and again, he can be certain that the animal is a leopard. Moving to the fourth stanza, if when you are walking round your yard, you meet a creature there who hugs you very, very hard, be sure it is a bear. If you have any doubt, I guess he will give you just one more kiss. In this stanza, the poet describes the behavior of the bear. The poet says that while you are walking in your yard, you may encounter a creature there. When this creature hugs you very, very tightly, then believe that it is a bear. Bears are thought to be a good wrestlers and can give a really tight hug, although a friendly hug is referred to as bear hug. If a real bear hugs you, then it may not feel friendly at all. The bear hugs a man to kill him. The poet further says that in case of any doubt, you will find that the bear will embrace you once again till death. So here the poet has used the humor. The poet uses here caress, which literally means soft and gentle, whereas bear is violent and fatal. So here he states an example of irony also in this line. So let's move to the fifth stanza. Though to distinguish beasts of prey, a noise might nonplus. The crocodile you always may tell from the hyena thus. Hyenas come with merry smiles, but if they weep, they are crocodiles. So here we see the word cornoise means somewhere a new to a job or a beginner. So here nonplus means to be confused, to be puzzled. So hyena is a wild animal like a dog that eats the meat of animals that are already dead and has a cry like human laugh. So in this stanza, the poet presents the contrasting behavior of crocodile and hyena. The poet here says that a novice means a beginner may be puzzled and confused and thus may not be able to distinguish between the different wild animals. Hence, the poet helps to differentiate the crocodile from the hyena. He says that a hyena always laughs as it swallows its victim. A laughing hyena's voice resembles humans' laughing sound. A crocodile, on the other hand, is said to shed tears while eating its prey. The poet thus warns the readers to not wait for a hyena to laugh or for a crocodile to weep. Stanza 6 goes like this. The true chameleon is small, a lizard sort of things. He hasn't any ears at all, and not a single wing. If there is nothing on the tree, 'tis the chameleon you see. In these lines, there is a description of a chameleon, a small creature, who closely resembles a lizard. Its body has no ears projecting out of it and no wings. The creature has the ability to change its color to match the color of its surrounding. It can so well camouflage itself. Though it is seated on a tree, a person cannot easily trace it. The poet humorously states a paradox that if there is nothing on a tree, then there is a chameleon sitting there. The humor lies in the idea that there is something where there is nothing. So that's all for today. Hope you were able to understand the poem along with the difficult words. We will catch up soon with another video. Till then, stay happy and stay safe, and bye for now.